to 10 computer-based test centers, including implicated late-night registrations for candidates participating in the ongoing 2025 UTME. From the international scene, Israeli troops withdraw from Netzarim corridor, a military zone cutting off the north of Gaza Strip from the south. Details of these and more coming your way soon. To stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now, details of the news. Federal civil servants have been given the February 17, 2025 deadline for identity verification as the government moves to workers. This was contained in a memo by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and cited by newsmen. Civil servants expected to verify their identities on the portal of the Integrated Payroll and Personal Information System amid stoppage of salaries and sanctions for ghost workers. Gather that civil servants have been in haste to generate their taxpayers' identification number to meet the deadline. Part of the requirement for verification is the NIN alongside the IPPIS number and salary account number. In 2024, President Bola Tinubu directed that all civil servants drawing salaries from the federal government after relocating abroad must be made to refund their money. The president also directed that the corporate supervisors and the department heads be punished for abating the fraud while they were in charge. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAMB issued a 10 warning to 10 computer-based test CBT centers implicated in conducting registrations for candidates participating in the ongoing 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME). In a statement released on Sunday, JAMB's Public Communication Advisor, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, decided that while the board appreciated the center's effort to accommodate more candidates, such actions should not compromise the safety and security of prospective candidates. The affected centers scattered across various states, and on light of this, JAMB provided clarity and issued a stand warning to the centers as well as any others that engage in similar practices to immediately cease these activities. JAMB further stressed that this announcement serves as a final caution, noting it served as a final warning to these centers as no further notices will be issued before JAMB takes decisive action to address the issue. In a related development, JAMB expressed deep concern over the growing abuse of its recently introduced exceptionally brilliant window, which permits candidates under the age of 16 to sit for the UTME, provided they meet stringent academic criteria. The board cautioned parents against overestimating their children's academic capabilities, stressing that these could undermine the purpose of the exceptional policy. Youth involvement in criminal activities has been known since time immemorial. Many factors such as unemployment, peer group, and lack of parental care, among others, taking the lead as a root cause. To these end, most youth engage in crime under the get-rich-quick syndrome to show their peers their new status with the society, failing to question such wealth. In this report, our correspondent Dele Fason takes a look at the challenges faced by youth involvement in crime in Nigeria. The report.
The NRN, 70% of Nigerian youths engage in one crime or the other. The heads of the Department of Christian Religious Knowledge, Political Studies and Analysis from the College of Education in Warri Delta State blame several factors and the federal government for the menace.
Lack of sound educational background, sound education. They don't have sound education. With that, it has affected their brain. Then what we call realization these days of youths, behaving like smart people, taking hard drugs, all this one, they don't know what they do. Lack of good parental upbringing. People who have children, they abandon them here and there, whatever. They don't take care of them. There are some of them doing jobs, is working, the mother is working, the children are there. Then the teachers are not even taking care of the people the way they're supposed to do at school.
Majority of the solutions, a student and the Christian Religious Knowledge Head of Department, put the blame on the doorstep of peer groups, which parents must address urgently.
In my own opinion, I would say one, lack of parental upbringing. Secondly, peer pressure. And third, lack of educational background. For example, now, if a child does not have that fundamental unit in his life or her life, he may tend to go into kidnapping, he may tend to go into robbery, he may tend to be a public nuisance. And in terms of parental upbringing, I advise our parents to be careful with the way they bring their children. Some they neglect their children at home, they neglect their children in the hands of some that are not.
Solution to this youth resiveness and kidnapping and those their attitude is the parents who give child to them should really take care of their children. Even teachers at the school should give sound advice and moral advice, so not only academics. That's on that. Then the government should put youth into the appropriate place.
Although most of the blame has been put on the doorstep of poor parental care and peer groups, but government on its part must ensure it provides job and enabling environment, including skill acquisition, affordable to the youths in making them shun crime and criminality. From Delta State, Elifason reporting for Galaxy TV News.
And those stories, the National Association of Petroleum Explorationists has announced plans to unveil some of Nigeria's most exciting geological discoveries and exploration opportunities to attract both local and foreign investment in the oil and gas industry. In a statement signed by the President of NAPE and available to newsmen on Sunday to announce Nigeria's participation at the Africa Oil Week scheduled to September 15, 2025 in Ghana, Uche said NAPE at the forefront of exploration, witnessing renewed momentum, adding anticipation around the country's growing presence at W 2025 is at an all-time high. He said NAPE has always regarded AOW as a cornerstone event for Africa's upstream community, pointing out that the unprecedented level of interest from Nigeria's stakeholders is a clear indicator that this year's event will be transformative for the oil and gas industry. He also announced a strategic alliance with the European Association of Geoscientists and Engineers to develop an unparalleled program spotlighting Nigeria's thriving upstream sector at the Ghana Fair. You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. A foil attempt by two drug companies to smuggle consignment of heroin into Nigeria through the Port Harcourt International Airport and Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Details of that and more coming after the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily on our IG QR code. The Oyo Osun Commander of the Nigeria Coast Service says it has generated over 7 billion naira for the federal government in the first month of the year. The area controller Ben Omar Lugo disclosed this at the command's operational headquarters in Ibadan while briefing newsmen. attributed the command's achievement in countering smuggling to the collaboration of local communities, other security agencies, and the dedication of the command's officers. He said this include 170 bags of 50 kg foreign rice, 1,667 used tires, 32 bales of youth clothes, 2 sacks of used shoes, and 40 kegs of 25 liters of premium water spirit. And to the story earlier, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency are foiled attempts by 2 drug kingpins to smuggle consignment of heroin in Nigeria through the Port Harcourt International Airport and the Murtala Mohammed International Airport (MMIA). Both smuggling attempts were made on 2nd February at Port Harcourt Airport and on 1st February at Lagos Airport. NDLEA spokesman Femi Babafemi said one of the kingpins will use dual identities to aid his cross-border movement of a Nigerian passport under his original name and a Sierra Leone passport under a different name. The second kingpin, James Abbott Kinoso, 48, was arrested by NDLEA operatives at Lagos Airport on Saturday, 1st February, upon arrival from Madagascar via Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, on an Ethiopian airline flight. Meanwhile, NDLEA command and the formation across the country continue their war against drug abuse sensitization activities in schools, worship centers, workplaces, and communities over the past week. Operatives of the Nigerian Police Force have arrested 5 suspects for various criminal acts within Lagos State. The Force Public Relations Officer, ACP Wadijobi, in a statement issued and signed in Abuja, said recent successful operations highlight the police dedication to protecting lives and properties. According to him, on February 7, 2025, operations from the Division Lagos State intercepted a suspect Wisdom Obi 24 riding an unregistered motorcycle at Abule Ado bus stop. A search revealed a Browning pistol with 30 rounds of live ammunition hidden inside an MP3 radio. The suspect was taken into custody and investigations are ongoing. The statement added that same day Orile Gamo police officers arrested 4 suspected traffic robbers: Kadir Ibrahim, Ifeanyi John, Oduwole Shola, and Rilwan Olajuwon, while they attempted to rob passengers of a broken-down vehicle at Askan White Sand. In the same vein, on February 5, 2025, Ikoyi Divisions responded to a violent confrontation at Falomo Square, where Okeke John Chris allegedly rammed his Lexus into William Wisdom, 33. Following an argument, William was taken to Bagada General Hospital but later died. Okeke was arrested and investigations are ongoing. Baptist Law School, Kaduna, in remembrance of 121 Bethel Baptist School incident. The gathering is geared towards supporting the rebuilding of Bethel Baptist High School, which was attacked in July 2021 by terrorists. The event served as a solemn reminder of the tragic night of July 5, 2021, when terrorists invaded the school, abducting 121 students and taking them into the bush. A very sad experience for everyone, especially the parents of the students who later returned safely. Governor Basani, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Seneca, reiterated the need for peace, unity, and togetherness in the country despite religious differences for the government of the country. While Senator Sunday Marshall Katong, who served as the chairman fundraising committee, says they are not just rebuilding the school, but they are rebuilding the future.
But God has brought us to the mountains. We experienced death, but now we have experienced the resurrection power of God. Our people are to live this knowing that there is nothing down that God cannot lift up. Even the economy of our country.
At 121 children were taken away. They all came back, but the situation of the school is not encouraging, so we have decided to work towards moving the school to a safer side and build a befitting structure that our children continue to acquire education. That school has raised great men who will be great people for the future. I will not allow the challenge of insecurity to stop us from continuing accomplishing that mission that we have resolved as a church to provide education, to augment government roles.
The Ogun State Deputy Governor Alako Yedele has challenged the nation's engineers to lead the fourth industrial revolution by leveraging smart technologies, automation and artificial intelligence to transform the manufacturing sector. The Deputy Governor made this call in that keynote address during the inauguration of the 17th Chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Abeokuta branch. Speaking on fostering industrial growth and national development, the role of engineering and innovation in driving Nigeria's economic transformation, she stressed that solid infrastructure is the foundation of industrial growth. On that part, NSR National President Margaret Oguntola highlighted the impact of engineers in society and urged the new NSC Abeokuta leadership to embark on projects that improve the lives of Ogun State residents.
Role in creating an enabling environment for engineering,
foster professional growth, and drive impactful engineering solutions that will elevate our profession and society at large. As we embrace this new era, our focus will be on leveraging digital transformation, fostering inclusivity, and strengthening the NSC brand to empower engineers and advance the profession.
The federal government has declared that it will not toll any road not completed across the country, saying that the idea behind the return of toll gate is to ensure constant maintenance of roads across the country. Our correspondent to this report examines the rationale behind the return of toll gate and its implications. The report.
The primary objective of toll gates is to tourists chipping for the maintenance of federal roads. Toll gates serve some fundamental social and economic purpose too. Other nations recognize the wisdom of this long before we woke up to it. While ours lasted, they provided safe and conducive resting places for weary motorists and their passengers. While critical to this development, the government maintained that the idea of toll gates will only be applicable to completed road projects in line with its agreements with the Nigerian Labour Congress.
Within the 6 geopolitical zones and within the economic corridor, but we are not tolling any road that we have not perfected. You know, we are in agreement with an NLC that before we toll any road, we would have 100% completed the road. But we have done roads completed maybe in the past 10 years and it is failing, and we are still working in some sections. We reach an agreement with the stakeholders because one of the key problems of our roads is lack of maintenance. And how will you maintain 35,000 kilometers of road? So to involve the private sector.
Recently, the federal government mooted the idea of the introduction of toll gates and actualized this lofty idea, which we saw across the 6 geopolitical of the country, with the Akwanga, Lafia, Makurdi toll gate, which flagged off 2 weeks ago. Experts and Nigerians spoke on the relevance of this.
This is the first among the 9 corridors being concessioned under the Highways Development and Management Initiative Phase 1 to commence operations. In the coming months, the federal government will continue with the launching and operationalization of the remaining ones. Initiative has opened a new chapter in the history of Nigeria. It gives the federal government the opportunity to overcome bad roads.
227.2 Abuja Kefi Akwanga Federal Highway is not a stretch road. It is a conduit of prosperity, a bridge between communities, and a lifeline of national unity.
Basic means of transport we have in Nigeria is our roads. That is why it appears our roads appear stressed, appear extremely stressed, and the traffic volume increases on daily basis. The housing load increases, so we have maintenance and as well as the efficiency of this road.
Bringing it up now and here is therefore not strange and should not be strange to us. But I only want to say that we need to do education. We need to improve the
conduct of by-elections have become a regular feature of the democratic process in Nigeria, the trend which the Independent National Electoral Commission says is fast becoming a serious burden due to financial and material demands. Correspondent Koleojo in this report examines the essence of elections and its relevance in democracy. The report.
Due to deaths, expulsion or resignation of elected representatives from a political party, parliamentary seats sometimes become vacant between elections. How often vacancies arise largely depends on the term of office. The shorter the term, the less frequently there are likely to be vacancies. Over the years, by-election has become one of the features of the electoral system in Nigeria, a development which some stakeholders in the electoral system said has come to stay. To the Independent National Electoral Commission in Nigeria, the exercise is far becoming a burden.
In the United States, they hardly conduct every time that a vacancy occurs in the Senate or in the House of Representatives that they conduct elections. The governor of the state will nominate someone to complete the tenure, often from the party of the deceased candidate. In our own case, we conduct elections. And some of these by-elections are complicated. 2018, for 2 by-elections, we ended up conducting 6 by-elections.
To some Nigerians, with the pace of democratic government in the country, there is no way by-election could be phased out of the calendar.
But that's not part of our electoral act, and it's not part of whatever we are considering for now. Fortunate that this thing happened or some are due to resignation. So, but if such opportunity comes, we should not restrict it to certain people. We should leave it open for everybody. This is democracy. Let the person with the highest number win. That's what democracy is all about. It's about the number.
Not only that, other stakeholders reviewed the capacity of the commission and emphasized the need for more budgetary allocation for effective performance of the commission.
The issue of election is not just about the election year alone, and even from the law, fund for election is supposed to be released a year before the actual election, and you are going to have some governorship election next year.
Electoral reforms. It's pointless if we want all these things done and INEC is not properly funded. It is what we suggested. INEC has to be independent. INEC cannot be independent. And anyway, really, I feel that is a no-brainer. Whatever the committee has to do to get the funding, all these things are constitutional. They must be done.
To the electoral body, there is the need to organize a retreat where both legislature and INEC will collaborate, exchange.
Now it's time to a reminder of news that made headlines during the week. Tracking the Week is up next. Hello and welcome to Tracking the Week. On Monday, the Federal Executive Council, FEC, approved a total of $1.07 billion in financing for healthcare sector reforms under the Human Capital Opportunities for Prosperity and Equity HOPE program, as well as a 4.8 billion naira allocation for HIV treatment, signaling a major investment in Nigeria's health sector. The announcement was made by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, who disclosed that the World Bank's concessional financing arm, International Development Association, has provided 2 concessional loans of $500 million each, alongside $70 million in grant funding from other international bodies. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Ali Path, elaborated on the key components of the financing, stating that the whole program aligns with the administrative agenda to strengthen human capital development. He said funds will be directed towards improving governance in healthcare and enhancing primary healthcare services nationwide. Part of broader healthcare reforms, the Council also approved 4.8 billion naira for the procurement of 150,000 HIV treatment packs over the next 4 months. This initiative, partly emphasized, underscores the federal government's commitment to providing life-saving treatment and reducing healthcare costs for vulnerable populations. Still on Monday, the management of the Nigeria Education Loan Fund, NELFAN, under the leadership of Akintunde Sawyer, has refuted the claim that it has disbursed over 104 billion naira to 600 beneficiaries. The management of the fund in a statement issued in Abuja claimed on February 3, 2025, has received a total of 164,042 student loan applications. It added that the fund has so far disbursed a total of over 20 billion naira for institutional fees, benefiting 192,906 students across various tertiary institutions. Additionally, for upkeep, NELFAN has disbursed 12 billion naira to 169,000. The management appreciated the unwavering support of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in making higher education accessible to deserving Nigerian students. The fund has restated it's committed to transparency and efficiency in managing the student loan scheme and will continue to provide accurate updates as disbursements progress. On Tuesday, President Bola Tinubu officially signed law the bill establishing the North Central Development Commission, and significant development was announced by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, during a session in the Senate chamber on Tuesday. Akpabio highlighted the Commission's role in promoting equitable development nationwide. The NCDC is designed to promote equitable development across the North Central region of Nigeria, which includes states such as Kogi, Niger, Benue, Kwara, Nasarawa, and the Capital Territory Abuja. Senate President also disclosed that Tinubu has signed the bills establishing the Federal Polytechnic in Rano, Kano State, and the Federal University of Health Sciences in Safi, Zamfara State. Still on Tuesday, an Ikeja Special Offences Court on Tuesday discharged and acquitted the former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode, of the charge of medical forgery leveled against him by the Economic Crimes Commission. EFCC on November 11, 2021 charged Fani-Kayode with a 12-count charge of procuring and execution of documents by false pretenses, use of false documents, fabrication of evidence, and use of fabricated evidence. Justice Olubunmi Abike-Fadipe, while delivering ruling on the no-case petition filed by Fani-Kayode's counsel, Wale Balogun-San, the prosecution failed to establish a prima facie case against the defendant. Abike-Fadipe said the prosecution failed to establish a link between the defendant and the offences charged, as a matter of fact, to enable the court to determine whether or not the prosecution has established an associate who allegedly collected money from him, or the lawyer who allegedly stated that the defendant had instructed his law firm to take the medical report to the Federal High Court. Wednesday, President Bola Tinubu formally requested the National Assembly to increase the 2025 budget from 49.7 billion naira to 54.2 billion naira, citing additional revenue from key government agencies. His appeal was conveyed in a letter read by Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, during Wednesday's plenary session. Tinubu rooted the proposed budget increase to extra funds generated by the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS), Nigeria Customs Service, and other revenue-generating agencies. According to the letter, the FIRS contributed 0.4 trillion naira, NCS generated 0.2 trillion naira, and other government-owned entities raised additional 1.8 trillion naira. The President also emphasized that the revised allocation framework reflects his administration's commitment to fostering inclusive growth, addressing security challenges, and strengthening Nigeria's economic resilience. Still on Wednesday, the Nigerian Senate threatened to issue warrant of arrest on some critical revenue-generating agencies of government, undermining its summon to answer queries raised by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation with regards to financial transactions. The Senate Committee on Public account shared by Senator Aliu Ahmed Wadada, speaking at a press conference in Abuja, expressed shock recounting in line with legislative provisions that empowers the parliament to investigate. Wadada said to a general report which was humbly submitted to the committee on Thursday, President Bola Tinubu announced significant changes at several federal universities, including the University of Abuja, now known as Yakubu University. These changes dissolved the entire governing council at the Yakubu University and relieved Professor Aisha Sani Maikudi of her duties as Vice Chancellor. Senator Larry Tejuosho, currently Pro-Chancellor of the University of Agriculture, Makurdi, has been appointed Pro-Chancellor of the Yakubu Gowon University, Chancellor of Alban Ikoku University of Education. To succeed Maikudi, President Tinubu appointed Professor Lar Shamanko as acting Vice Chancellor at the Yakubu Gowon University 6-month term. She will not be eligible to apply for the Vice Chancellor position when it becomes available. In addition, President Tinubu also removed Professor Polycarp Emeka Chigbu from his position as acting Vice Chancellor at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, UNN, before his tenure ends on February 14. Professor Ojofu Jam appointed as his successor for 6 months and will not be eligible to apply for the permanent position. Still on Thursday, the House of Reps Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution geopolitical zones. A letter from the committee on the request was read by the Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu during the plenary. He outlined conditions that must be met before the state creation request can be approved. According to the letter, the proposal includes 5 from the North Central, 4 from the Northeast, 5 from the Northwest, 5 from the Southeast, Okun, Okura, and Confluence, Benue, Ala, Anapa, FCT states, Mana, Adamawa, Katagumba, Vanna, Borno, and Muri Taraba. The state also include New Kaduna State and Gujarat State from Kaduna State, Tiga and Ari from Kanu, and KB State, Etiti and Orashi as the 6th state in the southeast, Adada from Enugu, Olu and Aba from the southeast. They also include Ogoja from Cross River, Wari from Delta, Ori and Obolo from Rivers, Turumbi from Ondo, Ibadan from Oyo, Lagoon from Lagos, and Ogun Ijebu from Okeogun, Ijesha from Oyo, Ogun, Osun State. The letter, Section 8 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, outlines specific requirements that must be fulfilled to initiate the process of state creation. On Friday, National Assembly poised to approve the Electoral Offences Tribunal Bill during the upcoming public hearing. Chairman of the House Committee on Electoral Matters, Adebayo Idowu, made a revelation at the public on verifying democracy, advancing electoral integrity, and ensuring that elections are conducted in a peaceful and reputable manner as crucial pillars of democracy. He sued for thorough scrutiny of all electoral transgressions to identify the underlying causes and devise strategies to mitigate them within the country. The committee chairman highlighted that the discoveries made will empower the National Assembly to rectify certain issues observed within the electoral bodies. In the goodwill, the Inspector General of Police, Kardec Betukun, represented by CTU Force Headquarters Abayomi Peters, vowed to bolster electoral security through collaborative efforts involving multiple stakeholders in all upcoming elections. Still on Friday, as part of efforts to reposition and revitalize the basic and secondary education subsector in particular, the federal government launched the reviewed guidelines of Operation School-Based Management Committee of Federal University Colleges in Nigeria. School-Based Management Committee (CBMC) is an initiative meant to improve bottom-up education, planning and management in order to facilitate improvement in education quality, participation and efficiency. Correspondent Kulojo reported that the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, was working at the launching of the document at the National Council on Education at its 55th held in Katsina State in 2007, urged the ministry to use school-based management committees to revamp and reposition the federal unity colleges to effectively serve the objectives. He expressed hope that the effort being made to streamline the guidelines for the operations of the CBMCs will serve the desired purpose. To speak in the same vein, the Minister of Education, Professor Suwaiba Said Ahmed, said the policy was designed to secure the success of community involvement in secondary education by decentralizing school administration and empowering principals, administrators and teachers, parents and community members in decision-making process. That's all we have on Tracking the Week. Now we move to the international desk for more news. Hello and welcome to Foreign News. Israeli troops have withdrawn from the Netzarim corridor, a military zone cutting off the north of the Gaza Strip from the south. Hundreds of Palestinians in cars and on carts laden with mattresses and other goods began returning to northern Gaza following the pullout, often to scenes of utter destruction. The Israeli withdrawal, in line with the Israel-Hamas ceasefire agreement of 19 January, under which 16 Israeli hostages and 500 Palestinian prisoners have so far been freed by the end of the first stage ceasefire in 3 weeks' time. 33 hostages and 1,900 prisoners are expected to have been freed. Israel says 8 of the 33 are dead. Hamas seized 251 hostages and killed about 1,200 people when it attacked Israel on 7 October 2023, triggering the Gaza war. At least 48,189 Palestinians have been killed in Israel's offensive, according to Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry. About 2/3 of Gaza's buildings have been damaged or destroyed by Israel's attacks, the UN says. About 700,000 residents of northern Gaza fled to southern areas at the start of the war, when the Israeli military issued mass evacuation orders before launching a ground invasion of the Palestinian territory. Many of those displaced were subsequently forced to move multiple times after Israeli forces pushed into southern Gaza. They were also prevented from returning to their homes through the Netzarim corridor, stretching from the Gaza-Israel border to the Mediterranean Sea. The first president of independent Namibia, Sam Nujoma, has died at the age of 95 in the capital Windhoek. The country in 1990 after being found Namibia's liberation movement known as the Southwest People's Organization SWAPO in the 1960s. After independence, Nujoma became president in 1990 and led the country until 2005. Nujoma had been hospitalized for the past 3 weeks with an illness from which he could not recover. Namibian President Nangolo Mbumba said in a statement announcing the death with utmost sorrow and sadness. Nujoma retired as head of state in 2005 but continued to lead the party before stepping down in 2007 as president of the ruling SWAPO party after 47 years at the helm. Many Namibians have reacted to his death with sadness, fondly remembering from the bodies of the dead. The clashes took place in the forest of Bijapur in Chhattisgarh. Amit Shah, India's interior minister, who says the government expects to crush the rebellion by 2026, said the operation had been a big success. The rebels are inspired by the Chinese revolutionary leader Mao Zedong. They claim to be fighting for communist rule and greater rights for tribal people and the rural poor. The insurgency began in Bengal state in the late 1960s and has since spread to more than a third of India's 600 districts. The rebels control large areas of several states and in a red corridor stretching from northeast to central India. Majority military and police offensives in recent years have pushed the rebels back to their forest strongholds, and levels of violence have fallen. Still on foreign news, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un reaffirmed his country's policy to further develop its nuclear forces, accusing the U.S. of behind the walls dispute. So he made the remarks Saturday in a speech at the Ministry of National Defense in celebration of the 77th anniversary of the founding of the Korean People's Army, according to the Korean Central News Agency. Referring to plans to bolster all deterrents, he reaffirmed Pyongyang's unshakable policy of more highly developing the nuclear forces. Kim, however, did not elaborate on the details of his plans. He claimed that U.S. strategic assets deployed on the Korean Peninsula, the Washington-led nuclear war simulation exercise, and the U.S., Japan, South Korea military cooperation are inviting military imbalance on the peninsula and in North Asia, causing a new conflicting structure, posing a grave challenge to North Korea. Kim said North Korea does not want unnecessary tension in the region. However, it will take sustained countermeasures to ensure the regional military balance to prevent the outbreak of a new war and ensure peace and security on the peninsula. He accused the U.S. of standing unfailingly behind the world's big and small dispute and tragedies of bloodshed, saying that it proves the regime's line of seeking an ultimate defense capabilities is most just. Rescuers in southern China are searching for dozens of people missing after a landslide torched the village, killing at least one person. The landslide triggered by heavy rainfall took place in Jinping in Yibin City in China's Sichuan province on Saturday morning. It left 28 people unaccounted for and buried 10 houses, according to state broadcaster. Continued rescue operations on Sunday after President Xi Jinping ordered authorities to do everything possible to minimize casualties